Operation Splitfire sees Rainbow's newest operative in over 2 years since Raura, and its first newest recruit under the leadership of Paul Bishop, the new 6. Yes, Ahmed Murad, going by the operator codename of Noor, was born in Beni Suef in Egypt. He is the son of Jamal Murad, the ex-Rainbow operative who appeared in Rainbow Six Rogue Spear, Rainbow Six Raven Shield, and Rainbow Six Lockdown. So to get a deeper understanding of Noor's background, let's first start by looking at his father's biography in the older titles. So Jamal Murad is the son of an influential moderate Muslim cleric, and grew up learning a great deal about both the religious and secular worlds. To the dismay of his pacifist parents, Murad joined the Egyptian armed forces rather than continue his scholarship. Privately upset by the reputation of Egypt's Unit 777 counterterrorism task force, Murad set out to change the organization from within. His contacts with US, British, and German training units convinced him there was a better way, but that Egypt would not be taking that path soon enough for him. His exceptional skills, both linguistic and military, landed him a frequent cross-training position with the SAS, where he came to the attention of Rainbow. In combat, Murad is a swift and lethal presence. Once he has committed a plan to memory, nothing stands in his way to accomplish it. Prior to the mission, Murad questions every detail of every plan, often infuriating the planning officers, but ensuring that every possible consequence and complication have been well thought out. His insistence that there is a right way has won him many admirers, if few friends. So with Jamal Murad being a part of Rainbow's first ever iteration, and of course Ahmed would be a small boy during this time, and we get to hear about this in his bio, and fast forward to the current point in the narrative, Ahmed is now in Rainbow, following in his father's footsteps. Let's take a look at Ahmed's bio now, and begin to piece everything together. So it begins with a background quote saying, "Basha, I've gotten out of more tight spots with a smile than a gun, but that doesn't mean I still don't carry one." Ahmed Noor Murad is the second member of his family to be recruited into Rainbow, the first being his father, Jamal Murad. Ahmed spent his formative years living around the world with his father on a variety of countries' military bases. The longest of these stints were spent at Hereford in the UK during his father's tenure at Rainbow. After attempting, and subsequently deciding against, an academic path in Europe, Ahmed followed in his father's footsteps and enlisted in the Egyptian military. Ahmed's military upbringing and his father's status as a former member made acceptance into Unit 777 a foregone conclusion. Wanting to expand his horizons, he took advantage of his father's global connections to train, notably proving himself in the Delta Force admission exam. His heroic actions during a UN peacekeeping mission are what earned him Bishop's invitation to join the newest iteration of Rainbow. And it does seem that he didn't join the Delta Force, however he did their admission exam, which in of itself is a massive achievement. And you may be familiar that Maverick was actually in the Delta Force. Next up we have his specialist profile by Paul Bishop, aka 6. It reads, "There's a test they hit you with early in Delta. The instructor walks the trainee through the kill house, showing them the dummies holding prop guns, so they can get a feel for clearing the rooms. The initiate's taken out of the house to gear up, and then they're sent back in for the test. If they do what's expected, they'll move fast, and won't miss a shot since they already know the dummy placement. It's only once the test is over when the instructors reveal that every one of the dummies had their weapons removed while the trainee was outside. It's a dirty trick, but it's a damn good lesson. That is, unless you're Murad Jr., in which case, your trigger discipline's perfect on your first try, and you act surprised when your instructors seem disappointed." The specialist profile continues on. "The standard recruitment program's taking too long to produce results. Stakes are too high and the clock's ticking too fast for me to ignore my contacts that give us our best chance at a win. I knew Jamal from the tail end of his stint at Rainbow, and we've been in touch ever since. Even back then, I could tell this kid was built different. The legend goes that he's been disassembling rifles since before he could hold a pencil. What really surprises me is his attitude. Off-field, he might be the sweetest man I've ever met. One important thing though, this kid absolutely has an attention disorder. It's nothing that I haven't seen on the field before. I don't mind the fidgeting or trouble with eye contact. He respects authority in every way that matters. And Dr. Sabal's determining a diagnosis that helps us find out if we need to make any adjustments to training. There's still some housekeeping. Ahmed hasn't been briefed about Deimos's identity yet. Given his close relationship with Morris's daughters, that's going to be an inevitability. Something I may leave to Galanos. Sorry, Tante Gal, as he calls her, which translates to auntie. So that was Rainbow Six himself, Paul Bishop, giving a specialist profile on Noor. As you can see, Noor is very skilled. He used his position as the son of a Rainbow operative and trained specialist to get him places, but that doesn't mean that he isn't putting in the work. That doesn't mean that he isn't skilled. It doesn't mean that Bishop is only picking him because he knows his father. Ahmed has proven himself time and time again, and the fact that Bishop knows his dad is more of a blessing for Rainbow rather than him easily cheating his way onto the team. He is more than qualified. His training experience includes Egyptian military basic military training, the Unit 777 Specialist Operations training, Tunisian Special Forces training, training at the Caspa Sekramania training facility, which we know more commonly as the Fortress. Yes, Noor did train at Qaid's Fortress, GIGN Force Security Protection training, which focuses on high-risk VIP protection, counter-ambush driving, tactical mobility, and de-escalation in hostile environments. As well as this, we have SAS Op Participation, and of course a Delta Force Operator Qualification course. So Noor has trained in the Egyptian military, Tunisian Special Forces, Qaid's Fortress, the GIGN, the British SAS, and the Delta Force. Keep in mind, he is only 28 years old. His relevant experience includes, of course, the Unit 777, the Egyptian Special Forces, a UN peacekeeping operation in Mali, which was mentioned in his bio, and was actually the most relevant thing that pushed him into the Rainbow recruitment, and the mention of Operation Goldline and Operation Palm. Based on my research, I believe these are two fictional operations and we haven't really got much information on that. I could be wrong, but I couldn't find anything there. And finally, we have a device evaluation of his Horus Lance launcher by Nighthaven Labs director, Osa. Yes, if you weren't aware, Nighthaven was purchased by the GSAC, and now Nighthaven Labs, which does seem to be acting as a bit of a separate entity, is the main gadget supplier for Rainbow, as they are both GSAC assets. Osa says the following: "Finally, this one's been sitting in the workbench drawer since my early Nighthaven days. We almost sold the patent to Italians to finance my next-gen glider, but our fallout with Rainbow cut the deal short. Well, guess who's arming Rainbow now? Bishop wanted a shield counter, so here it is. The main utility of the projectile's payload is to turn whatever's on the other side of a hard surface into ash. Usually, that just makes it a navigation deterrent. When used against a shield though, all you need is to lay down suppressing fire, say with one of Maestro's evil eyes, then plant one of these on it. Now the shield user gets to choose between death by laser or fire. The calibration of the release timing's still not perfect. As it stands now, said shield user has a window to knock the entire apparatus off before it can activate. It was the only way I could keep the combustion system safe inside the drill before activation. Trade-offs, trade-offs. When I gave Noor the rundown, he barely seemed to be listening. But when I asked him for his thoughts, thinking he was blowing me off, he was able to recite it all back to me almost word for word. Not to mention he aced the procedure test. Hard to read, this kid. But hey, he's quick with a joke, loves the rename, and left some Egyptian pastries behind as a thank you. I think he's gonna do just fine. I just hope my baby keeps him safe out there. And so that was the entire bio of Noor in Year 11 Season 3 Operation Splitfire. This actually might be one of my favorite bios. I think it's very well produced. I think there's just so much good content in this bio. I like the continuous world building, of course, with Nighthaven Labs now being, supplying Rainbow. Of course, Bishop's and his relation to Jamal, and of course, just the original iteration of Rainbow, and of course, the fact that Noor knows Gerald Morris's daughters. It sort of gives me that, young Avengers sort of thing, with this being like the next generation of these soldiers, and I think that's really cool. I actually like the fact that they made him, the son of an operator rather than just bringing Jamal back. I think it's really cool to have Ahmed as a brand new character being able to, prove himself, and this new character in the universe. I absolutely love this. So yeah, let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. What did you think about this bio and the device evaluation and our first ever Egyptian operative in Rainbow Six Siege? Let me know your thoughts, drop a like on this video if you did enjoy, subscribe if you are new. Catch you all in the next one. I love you all. Stay safe. Peace.